heads of government, heads of states, heads of delegations,
Monsieur le Président de la Commission,
African Union Commission,
Madame la Secrétaire Générale,
Madame Secretary General of Comesa,
Mesdames, Messieurs,
ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. During this 24th Summit of Heads of State, express my gratitude and that of my delegation to the host for the warm hospitality that we are observing here on this marvelous country. Excellency President Dr. William Ruto, thanks very much indeed. We thank the government and the Kenyan people. I also greet from your friend and brother country. Ladies and gentlemen, now, during the 23rd Comesa Summit, Bujumbura, in the Republic of Burundi, you gave me the important task to I accepted without a lot of enthusiasm, because Burundi is in the philosophy of the founding of Comesa as an organization of sovereign states and independent, who from natural resources for the betterment of our populations. Of our organization doesn't separate the. In this regard, my country has played that peace and security development. This is available and possible if we work together. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, time has come to see what we have achieved to consolidate our gain. I like to thank my colleagues, heads of state, heads of government, for their precious support. I equally express my sincere gratitude to Madame Chilese Mpundu Kapwepo and her team for their commitment and their hard work so objectives. Excellencies, I had the privilege to guide the Secretariat, which was launched in 2021. This project productive integration, physical connectivity, as well as social integration and gender equity. This strategic plan has played a very important role, especially trade, infrastructure, monetary issues, ITC, agriculture, and environment. A number of important steps have been covered during this period. When it comes to market integration, even if have liberalized their customs, the trade intra-Comesa went to 14 billion during the year 2024. Implementation of digital origin, the yellow card regime, guarantees for transit at the customs, surveillance of non-tariff barriers, and others. Comesa has equally fine-tuned instruments so that to help women, youth, and this regime is in view to help all that regards trade, to facilitate cross-border trade, help the small-scale traders, amongst who we have women. This instrument because it's going to help our small-scale traders at the border level to carry out their activities without problems. Service trade, service in trade, financial services, transport, communication, the sector is going to leverage on a liberalized market. Given that this simplified trade regime is not just for trade, but to empower our SMEs, and a majority of them under the hands of women and youth. Excellencies, invited guests, productive stimulate their regional competitiveness, security, that's food, resilient to climate change. During the past year, the region has had major achievements in the agricultural sector because we have a detailed sector post-Malabo, and we have come up with national plans of investment in the agricultural sector dealing with food security, and we have equally adopted strategic measures that is going to allow us manage water resources and others. All this is going to have us get resilient when it comes to climate change. The governments now have data, real-time data for seasonal planning for crops as well as trade. And its second phase, especially women and youth. Livestock fight better diseases, and now we have initiatives that target markets. This is specifically for pastoral communities. The Blue Economy Program is continuing to promote the sustainable management that has been played by the continent to date. For industrial development, supported modernization of key sectors such as agro-industry and the pharmaceutical industry. And this is through targeted aid. This has increased the competitiveness of SMEs, especially for the enterprises that are owned by youth and women. We have an industrial park, and there are initiatives to enlarge this. And thanks to capacity building when it comes to regulation and the laboratory aspects. Now, investments that have helped Comesa to have some achievements when it comes to inclusive and sustainable investments. These investments went from 12 investment to 22%, and this thanks to renewable energy and resilient agriculture, especially in Egypt and Kenya, gone from 55% to $1 billion in 2024. is the highest growth for the other economic. Ethiopia, Uganda, DRC have represented 90%. The regional integration program of Comesa depends on our capacity to have in place for persons and goods. 21st October 20 stay in Burundi, because we look forward to integrated corridor. We have border posts, one-stop border posts. This is a priority. We need to improve our corridors so that we can ease the movement of people and goods. The program to road transport and transit systems. This has allowed that is taken at the borders in our pilot corridors. However, under investment, inadequate maintenance, this limits the competitiveness of Comesa when it comes to now good mobile coverage and up to 90% in most of our countries. Among other achievements in ICT, we could say coming up for roaming and interconnection and free access to fiber optic. This thanks to a program that in Southern Africa, Eastern Africa, with the support of the EU. Is at 40% in the rural areas in most of the member states. We need to bridge this numeric forward to do away with this gap. We thank the increase the users of fast speed internet, and this will help in Comesa, EAC. We have just had very small progress when it comes to electricity and lack of policies when it comes to energy sector. We could say we have come up with the standards to deal with the solar. Capacity strengthening when it comes to funding of this structure. And other initiatives that look forward to fast track the effort clean energy, targeting 100 million members of the population, putting emphasis on access. The theme to optimize digitization, to inclusion and sustainable work. When all this is used correctly, ICT tools and optimize logistics. And this is why all the enterprise major obstacles of trade in Africa is blockchain, AI, and cloud computing. Others. The usage, correct use of these technologies is going to contribute to processes, distribution which is efficient and effective. This is going to make work is done, be it at the social aspect, etc. Comesa has put in to empower the youth and the women. We have a digital platform, 50 million African women initiatives that enable the youth to come up towards empowering women and the youth in years. We encourage women, youth, to be in leadership government governance program on peace and security. Comesa concentrates vulnerabilities and strategies for mitigation. Comesa has very good cooperation in this work with the Department of Union Commission and the assessment by peers. Elections are going on in a number of Comesa countries. Heads of state, heads of government, distinguished guests to deal with when it comes to integration. We have the responsibility to see how we are to move freely in our work so that our integration program is a success. We need to resolve the paradox. We need integration, yes, but see that this is reducing to